The emergency beacon screamed across 3 solar systems before anyone bothered to check if it was real. Commander Vrix of the Galactic Confederacy stared at his console with the enthusiasm of someone who just discovered mold in their lunch ration. Again. The distress signal blinked red, pulsing with that special kind of urgency that usually meant either imminent death or a malfunctioning sensor array. In his 17 years of service, it was the sensor array 98% of the time. Another one, his second officer, Tarmin, groaned from across the bridge. The Valkyrie female had 4 eyes, and somehow all of them managed to look tired simultaneously. Impressive, really. Yep. Vrix clicked his mandibles together, the Crethean equivalent of a sigh. Colony Station. Outer Rim. Calthex Sector. That's Deathworlder territory. I'm aware. Tarmin's scales rippled with anxiety. What kind of idiot sets up a mining colony in Deathworlder space? Vrix pulled up the file, and oh, this was beautiful. The kind that found a platinum-rich asteroid field and decided risk assessment was for people with common sense. He read further, and his mandibles clicked faster. Population, 317. Mostly Quellan miners and their families. Defenses, 2 outdated plasma turrets and what appears to be. He squinted at the screen. Is that a converted cargo hauler with guns welded to it? Ancestors preserve us, Tarmin muttered. The distress message itself was brief, panicked, and delightfully specific in its terror. Raiders. 12 ships. Heavy armament. The colony's pathetic defenses had lasted approximately 4 minutes before collapsing like a house of cards in a hurricane. The survivors had sealed themselves in the lower mining tunnels. They had maybe 6 hours of oxygen. Maybe. So, Vrix said, leaning back in his command chair. We're 3 days away at maximum fold. The nearest Confederacy patrol is what, 5 days out? 5 days, 7 hours, and change. Right. So those miners are already dead, we file the incident report, and someone important makes a sad speech about the dangers of unauthorized colonization. He began typing the standard response protocol, fingers moving on autopilot. Then Tarmin said something that made his blood run cold. Sir, there's a human dreadnought in the sector. Vrix's fingers froze. I'm sorry, what? TCSS Valkyrie's Wrath. Dreadnought class. Currently on patrol approximately 8 hours from the colony's position. Oh no. Oh no, no. Tell me you didn't route the distress signal to them. Tarmin's scales flushed purple with embarrassment. Sir, it's automatic protocol. Any vessel within reasonable response distance receives emergency broadcasts. It's Confederacy law. That law was written before we invited Deathworlders into the Confederacy. Vrix was standing now, all 4 arms gesticulating wildly. Do you have any idea what humans do when they receive distress calls? They respond. They don't just respond, Tarmin. They get ideas. They get heroic. They start talking about things like duty and honor and not leaving people behind, and then suddenly you've got a dreadnought full of gravity-adapted primates doing something breathtakingly stupid that somehow work. The communications console beeped. Incoming transmission. Human origin. Vrix stared at it like it might explode. Which, given human involvement, wasn't entirely off the table. Are you going to answer that? Tarmin asked. Do I have a choice? He pressed the receiver, and a human face filled the screen. Female, dark skin, hair pulled back in what their species called a bun, and eyes that suggested she'd seen some things and had strong opinions about them. The nameplate on her uniform read Captain Martinez. Commander Vrix, I presume? Her voice was pleasant, professional, and absolutely terrifying in its calmness. We've received a distress call from the Kelmar mining station. We're altering course to provide assistance. Captain, I must advise against that course of action. The attacking force is substantial, and your ship, while formidable, is a single vessel against 12 hostiles. Captain Martinez smiled, and Vrix felt his survival instincts screaming at him to run. Humans smiled for many reasons. None of them were reassuring when they involved armed conflict. Commander, I appreciate your concern. Really, I do. But we have a saying on Earth. She leaned forward slightly. No one gets left behind. Not on my watch. Captain, please be reasonable. Oh, I'm being extremely reasonable. I'm not even breaking out the Marines yet. She glanced at something off-screen. Helm reports will reach the colony in 7 hours, 42 minutes. We'll handle the situation. Valkyrie's wrath out. The screen went dark. Vrix sat in stunned silence for approximately 15 seconds before his tactical officer, Pren, spoke up from his station. Sir, I'm detecting the human vessel accelerating. They're pushing their engines well past recommended safety parameters. Of course they are, Vrix said numbly. Why would humans care about recommended safety parameters? Those are just suggestions, like speed limits, or common sense. Tarmin was checking her own readings, all 4 eyes wide. Sir, they're going to arrive in 6 hours at this rate. They're going to tear their ship apart. Human vessels are built differently, sir. Redundant systems. Excessive structural reinforcement. They design their ships assuming things will go wrong. Because things always go wrong around humans. Vrix pulled up the tactical display of the Kelmar system. 12 raider vessels, probably Skalreth pirates based on their ship signatures. Nasty customers. They'd stripped 3 colonies in the last cycle alone. Heavy weapons. No mercy. They'd kill everyone on that station just for the insurance payout. And now a single human dreadnought was racing to pick a fight with all of them. He should file this. Report it. Let the humans do their human thing while he maintained proper documentation and distance. Instead, Vrix heard himself say something incredibly stupid. Helm, set course for Kelmar Station. Maximum fold. Tarmin stared at him. Sir, I want to watch this. He settled into his chair with grim determination. Besides, someone needs to be there to file an accurate report when the humans do something impossible. And if they fail, then we rescue whoever's left and I retire to a nice quiet orbital station where the most exciting thing is filing cargo manifests. His crew exchanged glances, but no one argued. No one wanted to miss this either. Because when humans heard a distress call, they didn't calculate odds or run cost-benefit analyses. They just came running. And somehow, that was the most terrifying thing in the galaxy. The Skalreth pirates were having a wonderful day right up until they weren't. Commander Vrix arrived at Kelmar Station 5 hours after the human dreadnought, which meant he missed the opening act but caught the finale, and what a finale it was. His sensor officer, Pren, was making a sound that Vrix had never heard before. Sort of a wheezing, clicking noise that suggested either equipment malfunction or complete psychological breakdown. Report, Vrix demanded, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know. Sir, the human vessel has, they've. Pren gestured helplessly at his console. They've destroyed 8 of the 12 raider ships. The remaining 4 are attempting to flee. The humans are pursuing. Tarmin pulled up the tactical replay, and Vrix watched with the horrified fascination of someone observing a natural disaster. The Valkyrie's wrath had dropped out of faster-than-light travel at a velocity that should have been physically impossible, already firing. Not warning shots. Not strategic targeting. Just pure, concentrated violence delivered with the precision of a surgeon and the enthusiasm of a madman. The first 3 pirate ships had exploded before they even registered the Dreadnought's presence. The next 2 had managed to get their shields up, which bought them approximately 11 additional seconds of existence. The remaining 7 had scattered like frightened prey animals, which was probably the first intelligent decision they'd made all day. It hadn't helped. They're using kinetic accelerators, Pren said, voice climbing an octave. At this range, do they have any idea how much math is involved in those calculations? Apparently yes, Vrix muttered, watching another pirate ship transform into expensive debris. The human dreadnought moved through space like it owned the place, all brutal efficiency and terrifying grace. Every shot counted. Every maneuver perfect. It was like watching a predator that had evolved specifically to hunt in the void between stars. Because, Vrix realized with creeping horror, that's exactly what it was. Sir, incoming transmission from Captain Martinez. Vrix straightened his uniform, trying to project calm authority while his internal organs insisted on rearranging themselves from stress. Put her through. Captain Martinez appeared on screen, and she looked entirely too pleased with herself. Behind her, Vrix could see human crew members moving with practiced efficiency, calling out coordinates and damage reports in that clipped, professional manner humans used when they were absolutely in their element. Commander Vrix, glad you could make it to the party. She smiled that terrifying smile again. The situation is well in hand. We've neutralized the hostile forces and are preparing to dock with the station. Rescue operations will begin shortly. Captain, your tactical performance was... Vrix searched for the right word. Reckless. Insane. Brilliant. Impressive. Thank you. My crew trains hard. She glanced off screen. Lieutenant Park, status on those last 4 runners? A male voice responded from somewhere beyond view. 3 down, The last one just attempted an emergency fold jump. It failed. Catastrophically. Shame. Martinez didn't sound remotely sympathetic. That's what happens when you cheap out on drive maintenance. She turned her attention back to Vrix. Commander, we're about to breach the station's lower tunnels. The miners sealed themselves in pretty tight. Would your ship happen to have any Quellan speakers aboard? Might make the extraction smoother. We have 2, Vrix confirmed. I'll send them across. Appreciated. Martinez out. The screen went dark, and Vrix became aware that his entire bridge crew was staring at him. What? Sir, Tarmin said carefully. Should we be concerned that the humans just eliminated 12 hostile vessels in under an hour? Concerned? No. Terrified? Absolutely. Vrix pulled up the casualty reports. 0. The humans had 0 casualties. Not even minor damage to their ship. They'd walked into a combat situation that should have been a bloodbath and treated it like a training exercise. They were protecting civilians, Pren offered quietly. The humans. They risked their ship and crew for people they'd never met. People from a species that isn't even allied with Earth. Vrix nodded slowly. That was the thing about humans, wasn't it? The thing that made them simultaneously the Confederacy's greatest asset and its most unpredictable variable. They had this bizarre, irrational, completely illogical tendency to help people. Not because of treaties or trade agreements or political advantage. Just because someone needed help and they could provide it. It was insane. It was beautiful. It was going to give him so many headaches. 2 hours later, Vrix stood in the docking bay of Kelmar Station, watching human marines escort 317 very alive, very grateful miners to safety. The Quellans were crying, which involved a sort of chirping whistle that echoed off the metal walls. The human medics moved among them with calm efficiency, checking vitals, distributing water and ration bars, speaking in soothing tones. Captain Martinez approached him, helmet tucked under one arm, face streaked with sweat and dust from the tunnels. All accounted for, she reported. Some dehydration, a few panic attacks, but nothing serious. They're going to be fine. You saved them all. Vrix wasn't sure why that surprised him. Maybe because the universe had trained him to expect tragedy. That was the plan, yeah. Martinez looked at the miners, and something soft crossed her features. Pride, maybe. Or relief. No one gets left behind, Commander. I meant that. Your species is either very brave or very stupid. Why not both? She grinned, and this time it wasn't terrifying. Just tired and human. Look, I know we're the new guys in the Confederacy. I know everyone thinks we're crazy Deathworlders who don't understand proper protocol. And yeah, maybe we are a little crazy. But we're also your neighbors now. And where we come from, neighbors help each other. Vrix clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. The Confederacy has rules about unauthorized military action. I know. There will be reports. Inquiries. Possibly sanctions. I know that too. Martinez met his gaze steadily. Worth it. And that, Vrix thought, summed up humanity in 2 words. They'd charge into impossible situations, break half the rules, give their superiors heart palpitations, and emerge victorious with that exact expression. Worth it. For what it's worth, Vrix said quietly. I'm glad you responded to that distress call. Me too, Commander. Me too. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the organized chaos of the rescue operation. Humans and aliens working together, communicating in broken translations and hand gestures, and universal understanding that people needed help and helping was what you did. Tarmin approached, datapad in hand. Sir, we're receiving commendations from 7 different Confederacy councillors. Apparently news of the rescue has spread. The Quellan ambassador is calling the humans heroes. Of course she is, Vrix said. Because humans had this annoying habit of making everyone else look bad by comparison. Not through malice, but through their stubborn insistence on doing the right thing regardless of cost. There's more, Tarmin continued. 3 colonies in neighboring sectors are requesting human patrol routes. They feel safer knowing Earth ships are nearby. Martinez raised an eyebrow. Guess we're making friends. Or terrifying everyone into behaving, Vrix suggested. When word spreads that a single human dreadnought destroyed 12 pirate vessels without breaking a sweat, criminals might think twice. Even better. Martinez stretched, joints popping. Well, Commander, unless you need anything else, my crew could use some rest. Saving people is exhausting work. Go. You've earned it. As the captain walked away, Vrix turned to Tarmin. Make a note in my personal log. Sir. Note reads, humans are insane. Humans are dangerous. Humans are the best thing that ever happened to the Confederacy. Also, never let them near coffee before a combat situation. They're terrifying enough sober. Tarmin's scales rippled with amusement. Should I file that officially? Absolutely not. But remind me to recommend Captain Martinez for a commendation. Quietly. Very quietly. If we make too much fuss, they'll realize they're supposed to follow proper protocol, and honestly, I prefer them exactly as they are. Chaotic and heroic? Precisely. As their ships prepared to depart, Vrix watched the human dreadnought through his viewport. Sleek, deadly, and currently broadcasting music across open channels. Something with guitars and drums that his translator identified as rock and roll. Because of course humans celebrated survival with noise. The galaxy had changed the day humanity joined the Confederacy. Changed in ways the Council was still trying to understand. But standing here, watching survivors embrace their rescuers, Vrix thought maybe it had changed for the better. Even if humans did give him heartburn. Somewhere in the void, another distress beacon would sound. Another impossible situation would arise. And somewhere, a human crew would hear it and make the same choice they always made. They'd come running. And honestly, Vrix thought with something almost like fondness, the galaxy was better for it.
Hello everyone. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, don't forget to support our channel. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We regularly upload amazing, informative, and entertaining content just for you. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to bring even better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to our growing community.